guys, welcome back to another video. I have the DJI Avata 2, but I live in Europe, which means that I cannot get the full potential out of this drone. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can put this into FCC to get the longest range and some higher speeds. Let's go. Okay, now for the speed test, I've chosen this field because there is no obstacles and it's a relatively non-windy day. So I'm gonna fire this up and see how fast it goes. Okay, so test number 2, this time around with the FCC unlock. I'm pretty sure this one's going to work because I can see the channels appear, so I can now manually choose the channels. I'm gonna leave them in auto because, you know, I think the drone will do a good job, but let's see how much better this is. And what I will try is to go behind this building over here, which is kind of a solid building. So there's a legitimate solid obstacle between me. I mean, I'm not losing any signal. So if I just fly in this direction, this is definitely holding strong right now. So literally a building between me and the drone. I do feel that the connection is much stronger and the speed is slightly higher. Now it's still a very slow drone compared to the DJI FPV drone, which goes like 140 kilometers per hour, even in CE mode. So yeah, that is definitely a much more fun drone to fly considering the performance, but this one just feels more stable. Honestly, it feels stable, the connection is better, and if you fly slower, well, you have a little bit more control. And if you fly close to objects, it's going to feel like you're flying really fast. Whereas with the DJI FPV, I was never really comfortable flying close to the ground and close to trees, just maybe in the mountains. Oh yeah. Now the obstacle test definitely showed that this has a much higher penetration. I mean, there was a whole bunch of trees and a bit of a hill between me and the drone, and it definitely held up. So the signal was strong, the bitrate didn't really drop below 20 in any occasion, I think, and for the most part it held that 60 megabits per second. So definitely an upgrade with the FCC, and I think it is a tiny bit faster. So in simple terms, in Europe we have a very strict drone policy, and one of them is that you always need to have your drone in line of sight. And I don't just mean line of sight like direct connection to the drone, you actually have to see it with your naked eye all the time. Because if you live in a country where there's a lot of these guys flying around, well then it can quickly become an issue because you cannot hear them coming. But more importantly, that line of sight requires you to always have the drone visible. So technically speaking, if the drone flies behind an obstacle, well, you don't see it, and this is where you start to lose the signal. This is also why the CE mode on the drone loses signal every time the drone goes behind an obstacle. So if you're flying in the forest or through trees or even behind a building, you will start to lose the signal, and as that is a safety precaution, it's also quite dangerous when you come to think about it. Now there are two ways with which you can unlock the DJI Avata 2. One of them sadly doesn't work anymore, and that's the ham file. It's a file that you create on your desktop and you copy onto a memory card and place it into your goggles, and then when you start the drone, everything will reset into the FCC mode. However, with the recent firmware updates, that doesn't work anymore. And this is where the second option comes into play, and that is actually not a free option. I'm actually hacking the DJI Fly app. Now you can do this if you go to the Drone Tweaks website and download their version of the DJI Fly app. Now I did read somewhere that Drone Tweaks is actually owned by DJI, but don't quote me on this because I'm not really sure if that's actually true. But the app that you download and install pretty much looks the same as the DJI Fly app. And once you register the account and unlock the app and you plug your smartphone to your goggles, you will get a warning that the drone is going to be switching to FCC, and you take all responsibility if anything goes wrong, because at this point on, you're literally breaking the rules. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button for the algorithm. It really does help. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and leave a comment down below. And if you want to see last week's video, click on this one over here. Thank you, and I'll see you in this one. Bye bye.